For 6+ years, Attack on Titan has built up the mystery of what is in the basement. And finally, with this episode, the truth is officially revealed. And it comes at a major surprise. I feel like many anime-onlys are just going to be in an absolute state of shock after watching this episode. And to be just perfectly clear with everyone that's currently watching this video, at this point now, with this reveal, I no longer know what's going to happen. Like, there's one chapter left that needs to be animated, and pretty much the anime has passed where I got at in the manga. So, I'm about to be an official anime only alongside of all of you guys. So, I am looking forward to some of the reveals that are going to happen later on this season. But, for now though, let's just talk about what this episode did, and how this build-up has been around in the background for a very long time. So, to kind of get right into it, the reveal that there is a civilization outside of the walls. It's something that isn't really too far-fetched. It's something that many, I think, at this point in time already knew existed. I mean, you have invaders like, Reiner, Bert, and then you have also, the Beast Titan. They're coming in, they're attacking Annie as well. So you know for a fact that there has to be some form of civilization outside of the wall. We just don't know exactly how advanced they were, what was going on, what was really the reason they were attacking. There really was no definitive answer at that time. And even with this episode, it's still not fully explained. However, with this reveal, now we know exactly how advanced their civilization is. With this one little scene alone, seeing a blimp going through the sky, it basically lets us see where the technology is of the world beyond the walls. Their technology is probably around the era of the early 90s, maybe around right before World War II began. Basically, they're in the 90s, and that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, when you think about everything that's already been established in Attack on Titan, it looks like a medieval, Europe. It looks like something that is around in the 1700s, maybe early 1800s. That's kind of where you might look at the technology of Attack on Titan, and there is some parts of, the characters, like the technology we've seen within the walls that do have advanced technology. Like, I mean, we have the example of the, the movement gear, what they use to take down Titans. That is pretty freaking advanced for where they're at, and it makes sense that, maybe they might know certain things about how technology works if you think about stuff that's going on without, outside of the walls. But anyways, stop right there though. Basically, the reveal comes at a major shock, because it starts to make you wonder, okay, so our characters, they're individuals that, are obviously like in the Stone Age compared to someone that is in, let's say, the 1900s. It's ridiculous. It's literally insane, just the gap. In terms of technology, it's insane. And it makes you wonder, why are they attacking this civilization that obviously is much lower in technology? Like, in terms of where they're at, they're much lower on the scale. So why would they be attacked is the major question. But it doesn't just stop there as well. It's also the fact now, with the reveal of this world being very advanced, it opens up a whole new door for Attack on Titan. Something that I don't think many ever saw coming. But like I said, it has been building up in the background. Now, let's get right into that. So the Beast Titan is a perfect example of someone that's been hinting at the reveal of future technology, or how the world really works outside of the walls. If you think about what happened when the entire Survey Corps was getting wiped out, the Beast Titan was talking about baseball. And while doing that, he was basically saying, I want to have a perfect game. He was doing baseball poses and everything while throwing just the boulders at the town and obliterating the Survey Corps. And even though it obviously seemed very weird, like compared to what we know from within the wall, it wasn't something that was too outlandish that couldn't exist in Attack on Titan. Because baseball does make sense. I mean, football and all that, baseball, basketball, playing with a ball technically as a sport is something that can be around for for a very long time. So it wasn't too far-fetched to think that maybe, they just have baseball with the outside of the wall, because it doesn't seem like it's anything like a blimp. You get my point. Well, that was like one obvious hint, but it was very tiny that honestly many just kind of overlooked it. However, there's been a lot of things that have been in front of our face since the very beginning that many kind of have forgotten. Ymir. Ymir as a character obviously has been out of, our point of view for a long time now. However, she is a mysterious character, and we do know for a fact back a while back, like around season 2 or whatever, we had it to where our characters were stationed inside this like abandoned fort, and they were looking at different goods that were inside of it, and these different goods, you had it to where they couldn't read these labels on these cans, and you had it to where Ymir came in, she started reading a label, which basically said herring. And if you look at it, it doesn't seem like much. Like I said, it's a quick little scene, and you can easily overlook it. But when you think about the technology that is used to can things, but also what herring is, then you're like, whoa, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Because let's look at it. Herring is a saltwater fish. It's something that is in the ocean. And think about what the main objective of Armin is, to be able to see the ocean. And from everything that's already been established, basically, is that the walls are out there blocking the Titans from coming in, and outside the walls is just an army of Titans, just a world covered in Titans. Humanity's pretty much overrun by Titans, and it's almost impossible to be even able to get to the ocean. But for there to be a canned herring like it was, it means that someone had access to get to the ocean and then bring these goods inside of the wall. So that was a big question mark right then and there, which we also know that the goods most likely came from the Beast Titan and also the traders, which was Bert and Reiner and all them, and why it was there in the first place. But regardless though, that was a major hint. That was a major hint. And then also, we think about a few episodes back before the attack began, before, the attack against Bert, Reiner, and then also the Beast Titan, and then everything that happened, you had it to where they got on top of the wall and they felt like these bottles and stuff that had like black liquid in it. They didn't know exactly what it was, but it was black liquid. And when you think about black liquid in terms of today's society, think about it. What normally is it? What normally is that? Like, don't think of soda. Think about like what you would normally drink in a mug or something. Coffee. And when you think about coffee as something that is not necessarily something everybody can afford or drink, especially an Attack on Titan. In the society that they had, their civilization, they obviously do not have the luxury of coffee. It is a luxury drink, and it's not something that you can just grab anytime you want. In our day society, obviously, we can, but we're spoiled by that. Back in the past, we never really had those capabilities, and it just shows that our society is in a good state to where we can even have stuff like this, just like, coffee, herring, canned goods, and all of that. And so that was another point, is that their society is highly advanced. They're in such a good state that they're able to use coffee to be able to just normally drink. Regular soldiers are able to drink coffee to function. So that is a major little indication that there was some really high advanced technology way beyond what we have currently seen. So anyways, let's just talk about the controversy of it. So with the reveal of, 1900s type technology, this will come out of shock for many fans. Some obviously are going to like it, some are going to dislike it, and I can understand those reasonings, and I think many can agree with that. I mean, when you look at Attack on Titan, it's always been a story kind of where humans are up against Titans, and it has shifted between humans versus humans, but even then, it still goes back to its roots of Titans as well. But with this shift, with the radical shift of technology, many will start having theories like, okay, so did humans create the Titans? Like, what's going on here? And it just, I can understand why some would be upset with the reveal, because it's something that they probably did not expect when the story started, especially being like, in a medieval Europe type style setting with, low-level technology and all that, and all these certain little things that are advanced. Many probably didn't expect this outcome, and like I said, I could see why many would be turned off from it. But at the same time, though, like I said, it's been building up for a long time, and it's not something that just came out of nowhere. So, anyways, dropping that for now, let's just talk about the situation with Armin for a second before I get back into that. So, Armin, as we all know, we know now he has the Colossal Titan power. He could Titan shift. We don't get to see it, sadly, within this episode, but we do know that Armin is able to Titan shift. And he wakes up kind of delirious. He doesn't really know what's going on. He doesn't know what really happened. His memory was very foggy, and it's very similar to what happened with Eren in the past when, he woke up, he really had no idea what was really going on or what happened until he was able to be forced to remember it. But anyways, Armin, he's brought up to speed on what happened, what happened to even get him to where he's at, why he's alive in that moment, and he realizes that Erwin Smith had to be sacrificed for he could be able to live, and you gotta imagine his perspective. Armin as a character, you gotta imagine how powerful that is, to find out that you survive thanks to the sacrifice of another, and you hear about the syringe that could save someone's life, but it was used on you and not used on the commander of the Survey Corps. Like, you would question, why me? Like, why would you save me when you could save someone else that obviously has just way more experience that can get the job done? And, I mean, Armin's overall conflict at the beginning of the episode makes perfect sense. I think anyone in that situation, especially like Armin as a character, would be in the exact same way. They would be very confused and wonder, why would you save me over the commander? And eventually, Levi goes his own way and basically says, look, man, at the end of the day, regardless of Mikasa and Eren kind of saying they were going to shed blood just to save you, it was my decision in the end to save you and give you the syringe. He's like, they did not force me. I did make that decision. I was the one that made that call. And he's like, I was the one that, decided that Erwin Smith would die here. And once again, we found out in the last episode the reason why that is because Levi didn't want to put Erwin Smith in, like, hell once again. He didn't want to shove this man into the world and constantly having to suffer time and time again and throwing people's lives on the line just to be able to accomplish things. He doesn't want to put that man through that suffering anymore. Time is over for him. He needs to be able to rest, and that's why he did it. But anyways, the point is, he made his decision for Armin because he has something that Erwin Smith doesn't have. And I really like that moment where he's like, you will never be a replacement. You will never be able to replace Erwin Smith, which makes perfect sense because, that's not what they need right now. In the past, back before what just was revealed, before, we found out the truth of the world, we needed Erwin Smith. Erwin Smith was very vital for the survival of humanity. But because of all the reveals that's happened with, finally getting rid of the problems within the walls and now finding out who the true enemy is outside of the walls and all of this, it makes it to where we no longer need that battle-hardened, suicidal charger, Erwin Smith. We need someone like Armin that's going to be able to be calm, compassionate, and be able to figure out things without sacrificing that many people. That's basically the point here, is that he has something that Erwin Smith doesn't. We need someone like him to be able to lead the Survey Corps. So he's like, I will never regret my decision. However, don't have the people around you regret trying to save you. He was basically saying, look, I am never going to regret my decision of, saving you and sacrificing Erwin Smith, but at the same time, though, don't do things that make Eren and Mikasa regret their decision and even want to save you. But on top of that as well, you need to not live with regret as well, because right now, regardless if you wanted it or not, you have the weight of Erwin Smith on your shoulders, the weight of a Titan shifting power on your shoulders, and even the Survey Corps, it's on your shoulders at this point. So you can't get rid of it. It's not something that you can just throw aside anymore. There's a lot more to your life than just your life. You cannot throw it away needlessly. So like I said, it's a very powerful moment. I love just that Levi Armin section of the episode because it kind of clarifies now a little bit more of Levi's state of mind and why he did what he did. So anyways, getting back into the basement stuff. So the basement. I like how the key that's been built up for a very long time, supposedly to the door of the basement, actually turned out not to really open the door of the basement, and Levi had to kick the door down. And when you really think about it, it makes sense why it was like that. And let me explain. See, obviously the military corps, if they came in and they started to investigate the house and they discovered the basement and they found something very shady, obviously, Grisha would have been executed on the spot. That was the point, was that they could not, he could not make it to where it was that obvious that there was something down there. So if they somehow managed to get down there, he needed to make it to where it looked like a pretty little, place for a doctor to be able to study medicine and all that. But in reality, there was something even more secret. He had something hidden with a key that would open up a drawer where you would go in it and figure out what was, going on. However, when they opened it up with a key, there was nothing inside, which could easily have had something placed inside to kind of fool someone. but it was a false bottom. And I just like how Levi was able to kick everybody in shape. Look, man, I'll kick the door open. Look, man, it's got a false bottom. And he's just like, just get your head in the game. I just love that moment where he is basically just constantly saying, what are you doing? It's obvious that he's hidden it, because for something to be this secretive, something that he's held on for so long, it wouldn't be that easy to find. You're gonna have to put some search into it. But okay, with all that out of the way, though, it's a pretty good episode. It's a really good episode of Attack on Titan, and I think did a good job of the twist that it's been building up for a very long time. And I can't wait to see where the anime is going to go, because now I'm pretty much an anime only. Like I said, there's like only one more chapter, which I'm assuming is going to be one more episode, and I am officially an anime only alongside of all of you, so I am looking forward to it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you got this video, please leave a like, and with that, Chibi out.